Hi everyone, I'm Sophie Milburn, editor of the MSP Channel Insights portfolio, and today I'm joined by Kristen from Portnox. To start, could you maybe introduce yourself, a little bit about your background, and what kind of attracted you to Portnox at this stage of its growth?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's exciting to be here and I appreciate the time. Yeah, my name is Kristen Knight. I just recently joined Portnox about, was it 2.5 months or so ago? So relatively new as a VP of channels. I have been in sort of, the channel world for 13, 14 years or so, starting as actually as sales rep within a national reseller and leader there, and then kind of evolved into a channel account manager and leader within channel. And so really excited to be at Portnox. I'm really excited about what's going on at the company and the technology itself, right? So really innovative, disruptive, kind of an exciting time.
Well, congratulations on your new role, and I'm
Oh,
excited to
thank
see
you.
kind of what happens in with Portnox for the next chapter. So, Portnox has just launched its global channel partner program. What kind of gap did you see in the market that made now the right time to kind of formalize and scale that in the channel?
Yeah, when I look at it, I don't actually see necessarily anything external to the company that caused that. To me, I think it's really just a reflection of the maturity and where we're at as a company. I think that when we look at how we have been going to market, I think it just became the sort of next logical step for us. And I know I'm extremely biased with the value of the channel and how. Sort of ecosystem-led growth just scales so well and is so efficient. But yeah, no, I think it's much more of a reflection of where Portnox is at in its journey, and I'm just really excited to be a part of that.
From your perspective, what are the biggest kind of security challenges that organizations face today as kind of cloud, AI, and hybrid work expand the attack surface? And how does Portnox's approach to zero trust and passwordless access help kind of address those?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. And again, I'm no, industry analyst or anything like that, but just even in my time in cybersecurity, it's the attack surface, right? As we are going through digital transformation, everybody wants to use, AI tools and IoT devices, right? In doing all that, what we're doing is sort of increasing our attack surface, right? We have these vulnerability points. You're going to need a username and password to log into each one of those different sort of corners of the network. And Portnox has a really unique solution in that they are able to 100% remove passwords from the equation, thereby reducing the overall attack surface by like 75%, right? That in itself is extremely significant. When we were talking recently we were working with Forrester on something that was really interesting and stuck with me was a comment that she made that said, hackers these days, they're not breaking into networks. They're logging on to networks, meaning that they're out there harvesting credentials. That's what they're going after, right? They want to go ahead and steal credentials because then once they have those credentials, they essentially have the keys to the castle, right? And with Portnox, we're able to 100% mitigate against that risk, right? And so it's just a really exciting new way to approach, secure access and zero trust.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got to be kind of really, really innovative to kind of stay ahead of the game these days, especially with the threat actors that we've got.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the arms race, right? Constantly with hackers.
Yeah. So for partners kind of working with customers day to day, what makes Portnox different from more traditional NAC or access security solutions, both kind of technically and commercially?
Yeah, I mean, I could probably spend an hour just on this if I'm honest. Yeah, so network access control it's sort of, I think, seen in the market as like a necessary evil. I don't think it's particularly thrilling to anybody, but it's sort of it's necessary to control network access, right? I will say that the way that Portnox does it, the traditional legacy solutions, they require hardware, right? Hardware means refresh cycles, that means maintenance, that means upgrades, that means updates. It's just high maintenance, right? The complexity of the solution is also such that these deployments take months to get set up. And it's really just a resource heavy resource drain. The way that Portnox is so innovative and it is cloud native, right? And a SaaS-based solution, there is no hardware, right? There is no infrastructure to maintain. There is no complexity. Something that I thought that was really interesting, I found compelling when I first joined, is a company can scale to up to 100,000 devices without even needing professional services, right? That to me is a testament to how the simplicity of the easy to use the solution is, right? And just really nobody else is out there doing what we're doing. And so in that way, it's a really exciting time.
That is really exciting. I feel like finding something completely different in the channel today is just near impossible. So that's
Yeah,
very
and to be able to again tell that story to the partner community, that they can go to their customers and really provide that value and sort of reduce pain, right? Remove this level of complexity and this just sort of resource drain, and replace it with something that is so easy to use, so easy to implement. No maintenance headaches involved. All updates to the solution are handled by us, right? It's really just so much value all in one, and that's something that I'm really excited to take to the partner community.
Enablement is a big theme in the program, from training to incentives to go to market. How is Portnox kind of helping resellers, VARs, and MSSPs to kind of quickly deliver value to their customers, expand their service offerings, and kind of grow their business through the partner program?
Yeah, so that's enablement is something I get really excited about. And that's the thing that I'm most excited at Portnox to be able to sort of get creative with, right? One of the things just out of the gate is we have all of our story, right, available readily on the website, right? It is available to the world, it is available to customers, to partners, et cetera. Our deal registration portal, it is on our website. So there are no barriers to entry. We try to create as much frictionless engagement as possible. Just come get the information, come, educate yourself, et cetera. But what's really cool is when I look at the partner community, and I've been working with, SEs and SAs for decade, right? I know that they really do not respond well to webinars and to sales certifications and sitting on sort of, on-demand trainings for hours at a time. What we're doing is I want to give as many NFR licenses, that's not for resale. It's basically like demo licenses. Like, here's the keys, check it out for yourself and come back with any questions, and really enabling that on-demand, really experiential learning. And I think that the technical community really responds well to that. So that's something that we're doing that's really different, where it's like, listen, go educate yourself in the way that you like to do. Look under the hood, and then, if you have additional follow-up questions, well, how do you handle IoT devices? Or, well, what's the way to set up this particular policy, then we're able and on demand to help them in that way. So I think that's really exciting. And I think that's one of those things that's going to scale really well for us and create a good partner experience. Another thing, when we're talking about enablement, it's not just, okay, tell everybody what you can do and where they should position it with a customer. It's also, how do we get that whole how do we position it, but also how do we close that opportunity, right? And one of the things I'm really excited about is we've recently partnered with Forrester and completed a total economic impact report. And with that, we have some real hard data around the actual financial value that Portnox is. And with that, we have something called an ROI calculator. So as we're closing these deals, and we have, as we move even more up market into the upper enterprise, to be able to really put raw data and real industry substantiated numbers around the value that we bring. I just think that, again, from an enablement perspective, meaning enabling us to get over the finish line with a project, I think these things are going to be really great tools that I think that the sales community, the technical community, and partners in general are going to respond well to.
I really like that, rather than kind of pushing it as a hard sale, like experience it for yourself and then come back for us. It kind of like shows that it speaks for itself.
Yeah, and I think most people like to learn that way. They don't want a marketing, let's say, a PowerPoint with a bunch of marketing fluff to tell them, I've been on these webinars, right? And the first 30 minutes is just how important security is to a network. And it's like, okay, that is a given. We're already there, right? So like, let's get to the real meat and potatoes, right? And let's get them. And I just find that when I have a background in actual enablement at a partner. And I learned that whenever you can, give people the experience of something and let them come to their own conclusions, they not only tend to adopt whatever it is at a higher rate, but they have a much more positive experience with it. Instead of, sit there and let me tell you what I want you to know, it is this person getting to come to those own conclusions. So I love that we're able to do that at Portnox. And again, I think it's going to reflect well on the brand. And just again, it's an efficient way to learn as well.
Yeah, amazing. So kind of looking ahead for the rest of your kind of journey with Portnox, how do you see the channel evolving in the next few years, and what kind of role do you think, or do you want Portnox to play in that journey?
Yeah, I don't like to get ahead of myself, to be honest. I think we have a real task at hand. I'm 2.5 months in, right? And what we're
Yeah.
really trying to do is we're trying to take the existing infrastructure that we have, the partners, the distributors, the MSPs, and really go from what is sort of somewhat transactional or reactive business and really go in there and be intentional about our engagement and really nurture those relationships. So, it depends on how far we're trying to fast forward, but, I will know that we are successful when, 50% of the pipeline generated and the interest that we see from the market is coming through partners. Now, like I said, there's a lot of work to do between now and then, but that in the short term is definitely something that's on our goals.
Amazing. Well, congratulations again on your new role, and I'm really excited to see what happens, kind of watch this space. So yeah, thank you for today. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Sophie.